Nepal, or the Federal Democratic Republic of Nepal, is a landlocked country in South Asia. It is situated in the Himalayas but also includes parts of the Indo-Gangetic Plain. It borders the Tibet Autonomous Region of China to the north, India to the south, east and west, while it's narrowly separated from the Bangladesh by the Siliguri corridor and from Bhutan by the Indian state of Sikkim. Nepal has a diverse geography including fertile plains, subalpine forested hills, and 8 of the world's 10 tallest mountains, including Mount Everest, the highest point on earth. Kathmandu is the national capital and the largest city of Nepal. The country of Nepal is a multi-ethnic, multilingual, multi-religious, and multicultural state with Nepali as the official language. Nepal is roughly trapezoid shaped, about 800 kilometers long and 200 kilometers wide, with an area of 147,516 square kilometers, defining a geographical process that began 75 million years ago when the Indian plate, then part of the southern supercontinent Gondwana, began a northeastern drift caused by seafloor spreading to its southwest and later south and southeast. Simultaneously, the vast Tethys Sea caused the upheaval of the folded mountains as a result of the collision with the Eurasian plate, resulting in the rise of the Grand Himalayas. The dual processes driven by the convections in the Earth's mantle, both created in the northern Indian Ocean and caused by the entire ocean, is thus regarded as the most important part of the Himalayas. Nepal is divided into 3 principal physiographic belts known as the Himal, Pahar and Terai. Himal is the mountainous region containing snow and situated in the Great Himalayan region. It makes up northern part of Nepal. 7 of the world's 8,000 peaks in feet are located in Nepal with its border with Tibet. Lhotse, Makalu, Choyu, Kanchenjunga, Dhaulagiri, Annapurna and Manslu. Pahad is the mountain region that does not generally contain snow. And last but not the least, the lower Himalayan range reaching 15 to 3000 meters in the southern limit of the region, with subtropical river valleys and hills alternating to the north of its range. Population density is high in values but notably less above 2000 meters and very low above 2500 meters, where snow occasionally falls in winter. The southern lowland plains of Terai, bordering India, are part of the northern rim of the Indo-Gangetic Plain. Terai is the lowland region containing some hill ranges. The plains are formed and are fed by 3 major Himalayan rivers, the Kosi, the Narayani and the Karnali, as well as smallest rivers below the permanent snow line. The region has subtropical to tropical climate. The outermost range of the foothills, called the Sivalik Hills, cresting between 700 to 1000 meters, marks the limits of the Gangetic Plain. Broad low valleys called inner Terai valleys lie north of these foothills in several places. Nepal has 5 climatic zones broadly corresponding to the altitude. The tropical and subtropical zone lie between 1200 meters, the temperate zone between 1200 to 2400 meters, and the colder zone between 2400 to 3600 meters, and lastly the subarctic zone between 3600 to 4400 meters, and the Arctic zone about 4400 meters. Nepal typically experiences 5 seasons, including summer, monsoon, autumn, winter and spring. The Himalayas block cold winds from Central Asia in the winter and from the northern limits of the monsoon wind patterns. Nepal contains a disproportionately large diversity of plants and animals relative to its size. Nepal, in its entirety, forms the western portion of the eastern Himalayan biodiversity hotspot with notable biocultural diversity. The dramatic difference in elevation found in Nepal result in a variety of biomes. The eastern half of Nepal is rich in biodiversity as it receives more rain compared to the western parts where Arctic desert type conditions are prevalent. Nepal is habitat for about 4% of the mammalian species, 8% of the total global bird species, 1% reptile, 2.5% of amphibian, 1.9% of fish, 3.75% of the butterfly and 0.5% 4.5% of the moth species and 0.4% of the global spider species. In its 35 forest types and 118 ecosystem, Nepal harbors two of the largest flowering plant species, 3% of pteridophytes and 6% of bryophytes. Nepal forest cover is around 59,624 square kilometers, representing 41% of the country's total land area, with an additional 4.38% of scrubland for a total forested area of 45%, an increase of 5% since the turn of the millennium. Among the notable trees, the astringent neem, widely used in traditional herbal medicine, and the luxuriant Ficus religiosa or people, displayed on the ancient seals of Mohenjo-daro, and under which Gautam Buddha is recorded in the Pali Canon to have sought enlightenment. Most of the subtropical evergreen broadleaf forest of the lower Himalayan region is descended from Tithian terrene flora. As the Indian plates collided with this, and the Himalayan biodiversity hotspot was the site of mass exchange and intermingling of Indian and Eurasian species of the Neogene. Nepal contained 107 ICN designated threatened species, 88 of them being animal species, 18 plant species, and 1 species of fungi or protist group. These include endangered Bengal tiger, red panda, Asiatic elephant, the Himalayan musk deer, the wild water buffalo and South Asian river dolphin, as well as critically injured gharial, the Bengal floricle, and the white-trumped vulture, which has become nearly extinct by having ingested the carrion of diclofenac-treated cattle. The pervasive and ecologically devastating human encroachment of recent decades has critically endangered Nepali wildlife. In response, the system of national parks and protected areas in Nepal, first established in 1973 with the enactment of Nepal National Parks and Wildlife Conservation Act of 1973, was subsequently expanded. The Community Forest Program, which has seen a third of the country's populations directly participated in managing a quarter of the total forested area, has helped the local economies while reducing human-wildlife conflict. The breeding programs, coupled with community-assisted military patrols and a crackdown on poaching and smuggling, has all helped in the process of vulnerable rhinos number have steadily increased. Nepal has 10 national parks, 3 wildlife reserves, 1 hunting reserve, 3 conservation areas, and 11 buffer zone. Shoikat Kumar Basu, Bureau Report, Kalinga Chronicle TV.